Hey, it's Jordan with TYT Politics. I'm here in the medic area. It's kind of a makeshift medic area. Obviously, hundreds of people are stranded at the hotel, the casino, thousands, thank you. I'm here with Rupa Maria. You're with the Do No Harm Coalition. You're one of the leading medics here. And it's been a chaotic situation the last 24 hours. Talk to me about where we are, if this is the only medic area in the Cannonball/Fort Yates area, as well as what people should know who need help. Should they come here? Are there other places? Tell me all that.
Yes, no, this is not the only area. Here we are at the Prairie Knights Casino in their pavilion space. So we've taken over the space and made a makeshift medic healer space. There's this space, there are the spaces at the camps that are still actively staffed by Standing Rock Medic Healer Council providers. And then there is also at the Cannonball Gym a space that is also staffed by our medics and physicians and nurses. But yes, there's probably around 1,500 to 2,000 people here in the casino that have been here since last night. More people have come today. We have treated severe hypothermia, several cases of severe hypothermia. We have 30 people who are being transported right now. The road conditions have been very terrible with the blizzard. We find the lack of assistance from the state of North Dakota reprehensible in this situation. This is a situation where we've had thousands of people in blizzard conditions. There were several dozens of vehicles that went off the road yesterday. We had major fractures, and the roadblock that the Morton County Sheriff's Department has put in place on Highway 1806 blocks safe and effective transit from this area to the nearest Level 2 trauma center in Bismarck. So that transit time has been unnecessarily increased for people who have had major fractures and injuries from accidents, from car accidents in the last 24 hours. So we feel it is criminally negligent for the governor of North Dakota and Morton County Sheriff's Department to have this roadblock there when we have a natural emergency with this blizzard condition. We need to be able to safely transport patients, not just from here to Bismarck, but from Fort Yates Hospital, which is a 12-bed hospital, 4-bed ER. It's a level 4 hospital. It's not at all equipped to deal with the number of patients that we're seeing. We need to get people safely transported to the hospital, and we're having absolutely no help from the state.
If you're talking an extra half hour, 45 minutes, possibly hour because of the detour, could that be the difference between life and death? If you're in a car accident, hypothermia, talk about what the ramifications are of the governor and his police force essentially continuing to protect the oil pipeline instead of people.
Well, I don't even know if I would say I don't even know how much time it's taken people several hours to get from here to Bismarck under these conditions. The roads are not safe to travel on. And so the transport of patients has been an extremely tricky thing since yesterday when there was a car accident that blocked the road in the middle of the blizzard for several hours. So we were unable to get patients out, and we were unable to go north in the direction of the closest higher level hospital because of this roadblock. We have been speaking about this roadblock as a major human rights issue for health for several weeks, and we demand that roadblock is lifted right away so that we can have expedient travel for our patients. But yes, it can mean the difference between life and death for patients, especially because ambulances in this situation with extremely high winds and limited visibility, it's very, very hard to have ambulances travel on these roads.
And could you kind of talk about, because I'm from New York, a lot of people are from the Midwest, they know winter, but North Dakota winter is a little different. I'm seeing that now. Can you talk about if you're trying to drive in an ambulance or you're trying to drive just as a normal person, if you're sick or you need a medic or you need shelter, what are you dealing with on the road? Because he's also not they're taking their time to plow the roads as well. Right. So you got black ice and all sorts of treachery.
Well, we've had the assistance from the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. They have their own plow that has been out, so they've been trying to keep the road between the camp and here as open as possible. But yes, there's ice on the roads, and then there's snow on top of the ice, and then when we drive it compacts that snow to more ice. So these are extremely treacherous roads. I'm from California. I'm not used to this kind of snow, so all of it is very overwhelming for me. But mostly people who are from here are dealing with hypothermia. People have gotten stuck in their cars overnight on the side of the road. People with fractures have been stuck. So it's a treacherous situation.
Can you tell me about, because a lot of the people who are dealing with hypothermia today dealt with it 2.5 weeks ago on a bridge overnight because of that horrible scene we saw, repeated respiratory or whatever you would classify that as, repeated trauma, hypothermia, car accidents, things like that. What's the health consequences? Is it if you're cured after hypothermia 2.5 weeks ago, is there any connection, or repeated hypothermia? Because I know just anecdotally, I've spoken with many people today who have hypothermia who had it 2.5 weeks ago.
Right. I don't know that if you have it once and then you have it again. I guess it depends on how severe it is and if it's had any long-lasting effects on the body. I think we're more worried about frostbite. So people who've had frostbite once, if they have it, they're more vulnerable to tissue injury again. But hypothermia, I think I can't comment on that, whether or not there's repeated, like, additive trauma to the body. But, I had 80-year-olds in here who were hypothermic, who were stuck in cars because the roads were not safe. The car went off the road, and they couldn't, they just spent the night in a car at 80 years old with diabetes, and, it's a difficult situation.
Can you set the scene here? I mean, this might, maybe it could fit a few patients in here at a time, but I'm sure you've been fitting way more than is like.
There are more bays on the other side of this, so we have a rewarming area on the other side. We have herbal teas that have been made. We have our herbal healers back there too to do active rewarming. We have a rewarming area, so we've been, I really can't say how many patients we've seen, but we have 30 people that are on the way right now, so we're getting prepared for them.
And talk about the mental health, because I know a lot of people have PTSD at camp. This is not a fun or stress-free situation. How's people's morale and mental health?
So the Medic Healer Council has mental health workers, and we have a room that has been booked in the casino for people who need mental health treatment to get them away from the chaos. Like, we're in a room here with about 1,500 people. It's very busy. There's been drumming. There's been lots of activity. There's been activity back here taking care of people. So that's a quiet, safe place where people can go and get help. But the main thing is that people don't have their meds. They left the camp in a frenzy, or they left in their cars, and their meds were in their cars. So now we're in a situation where we're trying to get people their medications.
And lastly, what do you need? Do you need donations for more supplies? Do you need more volunteers if they can get in once weather improves a little bit? What do you guys need?
So we are asking for fuel, so propane tanks, the kind of ones you'd have for a barbecue, propane tanks, firewood, and water for people to drink. Those are the main things that we're asking for right now. Other than that, if people want to donate to the Medic Healer Council, they can do that. But we're not asking for more warm socks and more. I mean, there's such a glut of supplies that we don't have the time to actually go through and unpack all the boxes. So if you can deliver propane or firewood or water, that's great. If you can't and you want to send something, send money, so that the Medic Healer Council can use their discretion to get what's needed.
And where would they be delivering it to? The Casino Hotel or the Oceti-Sakowin camp?
They should deliver the fuel and water to the Oceti-Sakowin camp. Okay?
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.